Also, go to shop.mega64.com, and we have plenty of items on sale. Support the podcast. We still have some sweatshirts, some Mega Mansion sweatshirts. I wanted to say to everybody out there,
what?
We just discovered we're low on 3 different shirt designs. The Icon shirt,
which is going to be down in a second this is over.
It's down already.
Oh, thank God.
No Icon shirt just sold out.
Thank God.
And then the other 2 are the classic logo and the L Block shirt. Are both 2 of our longest best-selling shirts.
Isn't that weird that those shirts always go?
They always go together.
Yeah.
They're like partners.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're like in love.
Yeah. Dude, I found my first logo shirt ever that Jenny gave us.
Yeah,
where
I still have that.
Yeah, I found it today.
Where she had them custom made before you had merch?
In 2003 for Christmas, she had those made for us.
Didn't it say something on the back?
On the back said, "Wow, that's pretty deep."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Holy shit, this is the first one." Crazy.
I need to make one of my own.
Well,
Do it.
It wouldn't be an original. It'd be a
wouldn't?
knockoff.
But it would look identical, like
Make it in
almost.
2000.
No one would be able to
that
tell.
would be the knockoff thing that Derek just said.
It'd be
Yeah.
10 years too late and no love.
No love.
Synthetic.
Dude, at this point, it'd be
But if
12
I
years
put
too
like
late.
my own quote, it'd be
Yeah, be your own quote.
Then it won't be a knockoff. Then it'll be authentic.
All right. One at a time.
Actually, yeah, there were additional shirts at the time. We got 3, but didn't our friend make his own? And he made 2?
Mother Teresa ain't got shit on me.
That's what I was referencing.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because there's like the original 3, and then
There's
the
2
legendary
knockoffs.
original 2 knockoffs. This would be 3rd generation.
All
I wonder
of
if
the-
they still wear them.
I doubt it.
They probably sold them for gas money.
Maybe his dad wears it when he's washing the car.
Was that the shirt that was not for sale at the first Comic-Con?
It was wow, that's pretty deep.
Yeah,
That was
wow,
one of them.
pretty
Yeah, that's right.
2004
Not for
Comic-Con.
sale.
Not for sale.
Because we didn't.
I still think. Hey, speaking of another thing that just pops into my brain and makes me laugh for 15 minutes. I still think back to the first Comic-Con 2004. We didn't have shirts to sell, so Derek put a Mega64 shirt, one of those 3 that we had made, hung it up, and with a sign, "Not for sale."
Yeah.
And people would just walk up. Oh, you guys have shirts? And Derek would just go, read the sign. Anyway, all right, next person. I don't know why that still makes me laugh.
You know what?
Gotta read the sign.
You think
All right,
about
right.
our booth then, we would be kicked out of Comic-Con so fast with that today. Like, we had nothing to sell.
Shenanigans.
We had nothing to do. We took trash and just laid in it, like, on the floor of the booth. We just did absolutely
Well, I
nothing.
think that
Who's
Comic-Con
avant-garde?
has changed.
It has.
A lot.
No-
since
yeah,
then.
nobody cared.
And also,
Yeah.
I feel like we have changed Comic-Con.
Oh.
That I
yeah.
feel like our antics got the attention of some people who worked there, and they changed some of the rules.
Yeah.
Because we absolutely can't get away with the stuff that we used to do.
Yeah.
That's true.
And that's in
true.
the book. I mean, the stuff we used to do, they made new rules saying you can't do that.
But also, yeah, I mean,
Well, we said-
2004 was kind of the calm before the storm. It was before it became national media attention, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And now they give a shit.
I too miss the days when we would steal people's convention badges and frisbee them across the hall and tell them to go fetch.
Throw it in the booth behind you.
Scratch their name out with a Sharpie and make up a funny name.
Tell them
That's
they can
good.
go home.
Because you need an ID to get into Comic-Con
Yeah.
now.
The
so.
one thing that you have a memory of that, but the one thing no one has a memory of but me was being there early in the morning in 2006, I believe, or 7. And the head of Comic-Con, I know what he looks like. I recognized him from across the way, and he made eye contact and came over and went, "I know what you're doing. I think it's funny, but no more badge stuff. Please, no more badge stuff."
Really?
I was like, really?
There you
Yeah. There's just so many with things written on them and flying through the air. It's making more work for me, man. But I get it. It's
He was
funny.
nice.
Yeah, he was really. Hey,
cool.
you could say whatever about, this sucks about San Diego Comic-Con. Oh, this is too much. This is too whatever. The staff has always been so good to me.
There's a guy at Comic-Con who's like the head of all of security
Yeah.
who absolutely loves us.
He
And
sells
goes-
his booth every year.
Every
Yeah.
time we give him shirts, every time.
Well,
He's awesome. He's so awesome.
If you don't know, if you've never been to Comic-Con, it started just in like people's garages locally around here, and I feel like a lot of those original garage-dwelling freaks are the people who still run it now. And I call them garage-dwelling freaks in the nicest way.
Because get
possible.
back in there, you sickos.
Yeah,
Get your
that's a
fucking
term of
paints out.
endearment.
No, but
Build your
it's
model
actually
kits.
it's a group of people who did it because they actually cared.
They were just comic book
They're
nerds, and
definitely
it got really big.
They're
They're into
definitely
gunplay.
overwhelmed now, but they're not like yeah, they've always been really accommodating.
It's funny because you could tell the staff members who were there when it was just like
Yeah.
in a
Oh, yeah.
garage.
Yeah.
It's just some dude who does not look like he should belong in the convention center in any capacity. But there he is. He's grandfathered in.
It's been around since the 70s, right?
75.
Yeah.
Wow.
There are pictures on the internet of panels in 1977 that they
Damn.
did, and there's a panel of this is when they were telling people about Star Wars. I mean, can you? Is that
Whoa.
insane?
The first time.
It's like someone from Lucasfilm, and there's like a podium, and they put a Star Wars like a shitty looking logo on it, and it was like this is when they were telling everybody
We're making a
you
new
got to
movie.
check this thing out coming in May or whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's like, oh my god! And one of my favorite stories is still when I think Kevin Smith talked about that he talked with someone who had been there since the first one.
Yeah.
And he was like, what was it like being back there in like the 70s? And he said, yeah, there were a bunch of people who came dressed as Star Trek characters, and then suddenly you saw a guy dressed as like a Wookiee, and he walked in, and they were like, fucking nerd. Like, you know what I mean? It's like now that's the most common thing ever, but at the
Yeah.
time it was like, and that's what he was
That's
saying.
funny.
He's like, you see people dressing up as new shit now, and it's like, oh, what the fuck, whatever. And he's like, it's always been that way. You said Star Wars started to rear its head, and they.
Did your dad go to the first one? Or he
I don't know if he's been to the first. He might have been at the first one. He's gone since.
It was in the Scottish Rite Center, right?
It was at
No,
the
it's
Civic
the
Center.
Civic
Center.
But I did go in the Civic Center days. I went in the late 80s.
Damn, that's
and I
crazy.
remember it vividly. I remember they gave me a photocopied badge with an anime girl on it. It was
Really?
Like, she had like cat ears. Or
Anime
whatever.
was like a thing
And-
already permeating
Well,
the US.
it was like it was a weird thing. Like, oh, you know,
Oh, yeah,
hey, do you
yeah,
know what
yeah.
that is? Whatever. And so I remember wearing that and just looking at all this stuff. And I remember one booth had a piece of artwork from Roger Rabbit, like an original piece. It was like, yeah, they used that in the movie. It was just
Damn.
like, oh wow, and it was. It was like little rinky-dink booths with people who brought like import games.
Mm-hmm.
Like every time I go to Comic-Con, it's like, hey, they got Super Nintendo in here. What? How do they have that? It came out in Japan. Oh wow, I played Mario World months before it came out in the US because I just went to some random booth that had it in Japanese.
That's funny.
And I remember walking down the aisle. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling here, but I remember walking down one of the aisles when they first moved it to the convention center, where they just built the big convention center. Yeah. I remember going there and going into one aisle, and Playmates Toys had all the new Ninja Turtles on a table. Just, oh yeah, here's the van.
Oh,
and
wow.
Here's the whatever. It was
Fuck,
like,
I had that van.
wow. And looking at all that stuff. And I remember turning around, and this booth had all these really moody painted like cells or something of Batman.
Huh.
And it was like, what's all this this really creepy looking shots of Batman and stuff? And they said, yeah, watch that TV over there. We're working on a new animated series.
that was
and
the
it was
show.
Batman the animated series. They were just showing it on a little TV, and animators were just hanging out and talking about it. It was really incredible. I think back
Wow.
to that. I remember them showing me and my dad a clip of him fighting Man-Bat, and just thinking, wow, animation is really cool on that. My dad loves Batman.
Yeah.
And was just like, wow,
Stoked.
this looks really neat. Yeah, it was really cool. Anyway, it's crazy thinking about all that now. Given what
Yeah,
we are.
it's certainly changed. Like the first times I went was definitely in high school. And
Yeah.
It was already in the big
Yeah, I went
convention
in high school
center.
too,
yeah.
But it was still like so different from how
Yeah.
it is now.
And I remember too getting the
But everything's changed.
Getting free stuff. You get free stuff now, but back then it was a really small crowd, and all the stuff you got was like stuff you would normally pay for.
Yeah,
it
stuff
was
you
not
wanted.
flyers.
DVDs.
It was like, yeah, we're making a new Godzilla figure. Here it is if you want
Yeah.
one. Yeah, we're working on the new.
There's a lot better promo.
Yeah,
stuff.
I think I got one of the Tekken games for free or something like that. It was just like, yeah, we're promoting it.
But
something like
everything grows and changes like that. Like even the PAXs now we go to. Like, do you remember the first PAX East? Like we're gearing up to go to PAX East again.
that. Yeah.
And the first one was such a different experience. I think also because it was in that other hotel, in that other
Yeah,
convention
it's
center.
a whole. That was a weird one too. It's way different.
But they always grow and change.
The first Comic-Con I went to was in '97. It was the 20-year anniversary of Star Wars, but also
Yeah, I remember. I was there.
When they re-released them in the theaters?
they
with
re-released them in the
extra-
theaters.
yeah.
But also, I don't know if it was like a Dracula comic or a Dracula movie, but for whatever reason, it coincided with a big Dracula property.
Yeah.
It was the 20-year
Whatever
anniversary
it
of
was,
both
Bram
of them.
Stoker's.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
That was '92. It was like
Yeah.
20-year anniversary of Star Wars and Dracula. They weren't giving out any free stuff at that time. It was kind of formatted how it is now.
Sure.
It was at the big convention center. But I remember being a kid, pretty much the only thing I brought away with it. I was in 7th grade, but I had the Comic-Con book, and like every artist who was invited to the convention or who was attending did a picture either for Dracula or for
Yeah,
Star Wars,
yeah.
and a lot of them some of them combine both of them, and I thought it was like the coolest thing.
Oh,
For
that's cool.
years, I would
Yeah.
just go through the program for that. I didn't go back to Comic-Con for a long time after that first one, but I would just go through that book, like looking
Yeah.
at the pictures. Sometimes I try to like redraw them and stuff. I
That's
sucked.
cool.
I realized like I'm never gonna be an artist.
I think it was that same year, but I remember getting that book and going, "Oh wow, yeah!" And I wanted some autographs too. But I went to some. I don't remember who I was looking for, but they were charging money and stuff like that, and I couldn't. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
And then I went. I walked upstairs with my dad, and my dad turned the corner and came. It was like, "Rocco, you've got to come over here." And sitting right there, it was the actor who played Uncle Owen in Star
Oh,
Wars.
wow.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, he was there, and I got that only signature I got on that book was him. He was just sitting there, and his wife. He barely talked. He was in a wheelchair. Just,
shit.
But his wife or whoever was there was like,
your impression.
"Oh, he'll sign. Oh, is he a Star Wars fan? Yeah, he'll sign whatever. I mean, if you want to buy a poster, whatever. But if you just have the book,
He'll
yeah,
sign
come on."
for free.
They were like more than happy. They
Oh,
were like
cool.
really nice, and I was like,
I was in 7th grade. The only celebrity I saw at Comic-Con was Uncle Owen from Star Wars.
Yeah.
I didn't give a fuck. Who wants an autograph from Uncle Owen? The
At-
guy got
at the time,
killed in the
barbecue.
first 10 minutes of the movie.
died like a bitch.
Yeah.
Fucking bitch.
Died with his wife. In
Could
his
we all go
arms.
around and
That
call
was-
Uncle Owen a bitch
Yeah,
real
go
quick?
ahead. Kevin, you
Yeah.
start.
Uncle Owen's a bitch.
No,
All right, put some stank on it next.
I don't want to be a part of this. I think he died heroically with his wife. He was shielding her
Cut.
from flames.
Cut him out.
Don't
That's-
Sean, go
that's-
ahead.
Sean.
Uncle Owen, bitch.
Whoa, Rocco.
Is that what's that under that robe? Is that Owen or fucking Baru over here, bitch? Got that blue milk?
Stormtroopers show up at the fucking moisture farm. Blah! Kick the door up and grab Uncle Owen. Slap him so hard he's just a fucking crispy old skeleton when they're done with him.
Bitch.
Eric,
Uncle Owen, you're a bitch.
we did it. Well, thank you for
I-
watching.
Eric could have
Rest
put
in
a little
peace.
more right
No,
in.
I
there.
wanted to
wasn't a
keep
part.
it. I wanted to bring it back to its core.
It wasn't